So today we are starting with the chapter 21 of English literature, that is Lata Mangeshkar in her own voice. No need to give the introduction about the name Lata Mangeshkar. All of you must be very well aware of about the Lata Mangeshkar, that she is a well-known female singer in India. And here in this chapter, the content that is given here in the chapter is from a special interview that was taken by Nasreen Munni Kabir. She is a very good leading historian and the writer about the films. So this was the interview by Nasreen Munni Kabir, and some of the content, the question answers are given here in this chapter. So first, the introduction about the interviewer. Nasreen Munni Kabir was born in Hyderabad, India. She is now a London-based writer and documentary filmmaker who has written several books on Hindi cinema. Her books include Guru Dutt of Life in Cinema, Talking Films and Talking Songs with Javed Akhtar, The Spirit of Music with A.R. Rahman, Lata Mangeshkar in her own voice, and 5 publications featuring the complete dialogue of a classic films like Mughal Azam and Awara. So, Nasreen Munni Kabir is a significant name in the field of Indian film cinema, especially when she was contributing towards making it familiar with the people through the literature. What do we do in the cinema? We watch, we listen to it, but she was making it popular, or she was emphasizing on the qualities of Indian cinema through her literature. Now, the introduction about this interview, it is the introduction about Lata Mangeshkar. In her lifespan, Lata Mangeshkar has witnessed astonishing changes. Astonishing means very surprising in the history of India, and has helped in great measures to redefine the world of Indian film music. She is hailed as one of the India's greatest singers, has won countless awards, including Dada Sahab Phalke Award in 1989, and received extraordinary recognition, including India's highest civilian honor, Bharat Ratna, in 2001. This is a special interview by Nasreen Munni Kabir, a leading film historian and writer. Now I'm starting reading the interview. Nasreen Munni Kabir, she asked the question, how and when did you start singing? Lata Mangeshkar replied, throughout my childhood, I listened to Baba sing and could remember every note, but did not have the courage to sing in front of him. So the first question here, that was from the Nasreen Munni Kabir, that when and how you started singing. So Lata Mangeshkar replied that she started singing since her childhood, and she used to hear Baba sing, and just by listening she was able to remember each and every note. The musical notes that are there in the music, like you make your notes of the different subjects, so in the same way there are musical notes, and on the basis of that the singers used to play the music or they sing the song. So she remembered all those musical notes that she heard from Baba Singh, but she did not have the courage to sing in front of him, because she was learning all those things behind him. The person, the Baba Singh, was not aware that she was actually listening and she was in the process of learning the music. One day, he was teaching Rag Puriya Dhanshri to a young shagir. Shagir means the student. And for some reason he left the room and Baba's pupil continued singing. I was playing outside and heard him. I had a feeling that the boy was not singing it right. So I went in and said, that is not it. This is how it should be sung. And I sang the notes to him. At that moment, my father returned and heard me. He called my mother and said, we have a good singer at home and never knew it. So this is here she told the story that how she actually started singing. That one day his father was teaching the musical notes to one of his students, and for some work or due to some reason, he left that room where both her father and the student was sitting, and she was playing outside. Lata Mangeshkar was playing outside, and when she heard the singing of that student, she realized that somewhere the student was wrong. The rag that he was singing was Rag Puriya Dhanshri, and she noticed that the student was singing wrong, so she went to that student and she told him that no, this rag should not be sung this way, and she herself started singing to make it correct. And at the same time, her father entered the room and he heard Lata Mangeshkar singing for the first time. And at that time, he realized that she can be a good singer. So, the father called the mother of Lata Mangeshkar, which is mentioned here as Mai. She must be calling her mother as Mai. So he called the mother and the father told to her that we have a good singer at home and we never knew about it. At 6 the next morning, Baba woke me saying, take the tanpura, you will study singing. So on the very next morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, the father asked Lata Mangeshkar that take your tanpura and I will teach you the music and you will learn singing. We begin with the same rag. That was the day I started learning how to sing. I think I was about 5 years old. So here she informed that she was around 5 years old when she actually started learning the music and singing. Now the next question from Nasreen Munni Kabir. How old were you when you first performed in public? How did it come about? Now the next question was about her first public performance and how it happened, how she planned to perform in public. Answer, reply from the Lata Mangeshkar. It was in the late 1930s. Baba's theatre company was on a tour in Sholapur, and one day some people asked him to sing at a concert. I overheard their conversation and asked, Baba, can I sing with you? Laughingly he replied, how will you sing? So again Lata Mangeshkar said, why not? I can sing. So he said, which rag will you sing? Khambhavati and 2 songs as well. This was the reply from Lata Mangeshkar. Now, to answer to this question, Lata Mangeshkar said that her first public performance was in late 1930 when the theatre company of his father was on a tour and they were there in the Sholapur. And one day some of the people came to her father and they asked him to sing in a concert. Lata Mangeshkar was listening to their conversation, and when she heard that people are asking the father to perform in a concert, she asked her father that can she also sing along with him. So at first the father started laughing because she was too young and she just started learning the music. So the father asked, "How will you sing?" So Lata Mangeshkar said, "Why not? Because I'm learning, so I can sing." And the next question from the father was that, "What will you perform on the stage?" So she replied that she will sing the Rag Khambhavati and two songs. He finally agreed to let me sing on stage. And finally, the father agreed to he allowed Lata Mangeshkar to sing on the stage. The music program was held at Nutan Theatre in Sholapur, and before Baba came on the stage, I sang Rag Khambhavati followed by two Marathi songs. Then my father sang through the night. I remember falling asleep on the stage with my head in Baba's lap. It was my first public performance. I was 9 years old. Smiles. So then she told that finally the father agreed that Lata Mangeshkar could perform on the stage, and it was the program held at Nutan Theatre in Sholapur, and the Lata Mangeshkar performed on the stage before her father. So she sang the same things that she mentioned, the Rag Khambhavati and the two Marathi songs. And after that, the performance by her father started on the stage that continued throughout the night. And Lata Mangeshkar told that she remembered it very well that she fell asleep on the stage in the lap of, with her head in the lap of her father, and at that time she was only 9 years old and she smiled. I sang at other concerts with Baba, and when I was 11, we sang together on the radio. Then she said after her first performance on the stage, she started performing with her father on the stage, and when she was 11 years old, both the father and the daughter performed together on the radio. Now, the next question from the interviewer. In your childhood, were you very close to your sisters? The reply from the Lata Mangeshkar is yes, we were. We are still very close. We love each other very much. We are a close knit family, but we fought a lot when we were children. So the question was about the family of the Lata Mangeshkar, the sisters. The interviewer is asking, are you were the sisters were very close to each other? So the Lata Mangeshkar replied that yes, they have a very close bonding in their family. They love each other very much, and but when they were children, they used to fight a lot.